What's up, FPS family? Your favorite zero-time Radiant coach here, FPSDAD, with a VOD review for a viewer. One day, I'll be able to change that intro. We're going to be reviewing a game for a viewer that's in a gold, silver, ELO lobby, so we'll just call it Gold 1. We're going to jump right in here, and we're going to talk about positioning right away. So I know as the player, you're playing on Jett, and you don't have as much control over this, but I really want you to take a look here at how the team is laid out. And here you guys have it set up as a 3-1-1, which is pretty typical for this map on defense. You got 3 players on A, 1 player on B, 1 player playing mid. Biggest difference here is the 1 player you have on B is usually Viper. Now it's okay to play Viper on A, but if that's the case, you want to switch that 3-1-1 and have your 3 players towards B. So here's the setup you have. You've got the 1 Neon holding B, and then you've got Viper on A, and then all these players around her. Viper on A is okay, but you don't need this many players helping Viper. You should instead have them towards B. Because here's what happens. Neon can't do much to slow down the enemy team. Let's say this is how it plays out. You have 3 people about to push her. She uses her relay bolt, which she probably just buys 1 because it's 200 and she buys a ghost. It delays for 3 seconds. And then after that they push out. She dies. And then you just have this 1 fade fighting everyone on site. On the other hand, if you have Viper holding a site, she 1 has her poison cloud, which if they run through it, they're going to get health decay. And 2, she has her snake bites, which are 5.5 seconds each. So she could stall the enemy for a whole 11 seconds while your team rotates. Here I want to talk about what you do fighting this Jett. So you get a good first kill, but then after you get the kill, you go to fight this Jett and she dashes out to bricks. And here you can't decide whether you want to fight Jett or you want to fight the people pushing it. And so you're holding Jett at bricks, but then you decide you want to peek main, but you've already started swinging out towards main before you even switch to looking at main. So what happens here is you're exposing yourself to multiple angles. What you see here is you end up peeking into 3 different enemies all aiming at you. What you should have done here is decided whether you want to fight the peoples in main or you want to fight this Jett. If you want to fight this Jett, you should have stayed tucked in that corner you were tucked into and then used your smokes to get out. Or if you wanted to fight the people in main, you should have moved to the right, hid behind pyramid, and fought those people, not allowing that Jett to peek you instead. And I saw that happen multiple times in the game, so you really want to think about what angles you're exposing yourself to when you're swinging. Here you swung out still aiming at cave, but exposing yourself to the shop player, and that shop player ended up running out and killing you, and that is exactly why. You have to think about what angles you are exposing yourself to and try to isolate it to angles that you are fighting. Again, doing the same thing here with the op. You're holding cave, but you're swinging out to a degree where the shop player can swing you and you're not even aiming at them. The greatest advantage of this angle is that the enemy could only see half of your body when you're peeking versus you'll be able to see all of their body. So try to stay hidden and tucked away and isolate the angles. Here it seems like you're dashing whichever way is convenient. Here you're already moving left, so you dash left after you take your shot, which many times will be okay, but like in this situation you end up being in a one and done angle, and the only way you're getting out of that position is by using both your smokes, and there's a good chance you're going to get sprayed moving out. So you want to be cognizant of which way you're dashing. And I know it's hard as a Jett player, I don't play Jett, but you have to think about which way you could dash away to get back into cover. This round was very important in terms of rotations and why it's so important to contest for mid on a map like Breeze. It's important on all maps, but in this map in specific, especially in this round. I noticed that many times when there was a call out that the enemies were B, you would always rotate through CT and your whole team would always rotate through CT. There would be no one going through mid. And the issue with this is you're not holding the cross back from B to A, you're not holding the walk out of elbow, you're not holding the walk up from mid to mid doors, and the enemy team has a lot of room to work with, and that's what happens in this round is they end up going back A, and if you instead of rotating through CT went through mid, could have held that rotate back and stopped their push to A. So you're going Marshall only, and that's not a problem. That's not a bad thing, you know, these challenges are okay and you'll play at whatever level you're able to at that challenge. The issue I have with this is playing Marshall only on Jett. With Jett, you want to be creating space. That's your role as an attacker on Jett, is you need to create space. So what you want to be doing is smoking out onto site and dashing in so that your teammates can come in, the enemy's distracted looking at you, trying to kill you, and your enemies could trade. In this game, I saw you baiting your team a lot in the sense of you weren't the first one going in because you had a Marshal and it's hard to enter with a Marshal. And I would like to see you doing this on a different agent. It's been accepted on Jett because she has the dash, the way to get away, but I think you'd have a much better game if you were doing this on someone like Chamber even, because you're not expected to enter, you're expected to lurk, to bait your team, to get those trades. While as Jett, you're expected to make that entry and create room. And you do this in a way around here when you have your knives out, you actually get a little aggressive and you push out through this Viper smoke, which is great. You should have probably used your smokes to smoke off a few angles, but if your team was there to trade you when you did dash in, that was actually a great play, and you could have gotten sight for free there. So here you start using an op, I'm assuming because your team wants to win and you guys are behind, so you drop the Marshal only thing, but you missed a shot on Neon, you get her back. And here is one thing where you could do a little better is you smoked mid and then you held the top of the smoke. I mean, it gives you an angle, but you run the risk here of being peeked from McDonald's or CT area. Instead, I would have liked to see you smoke the half wall or McDonald's there and then peek mid so you'd be covered from that other angle. So you win this round, which is good. You miss a shot on Chamber, but he whiffs everything on you, and you end up killing him. You end up winning the round, but there's a big issue here in the fact that you didn't know where he was going to peek from. He could peek from where you were aiming, or he could have peeked from the front of Pyramid, and he could have gotten the jump on you. You have plant here already. All you have to do is play for the defuse, you know. Once he taps it, wait 6 seconds, and then peek. So here I want to talk about 2v2s in specific. Your Chamber's already rotating to A and you're following him. You're trying to get some rotation picks, try to catch them chasing you guys. But the issue here is look how far your Chamber is getting away from you. Basically, you just turn this into a 2v1 or into two 1v1s for your team and Chamber gets picked off. In these situations, you want to stay as close as possible to the other player as you can so you can trade those kills. Here, you didn't really make the wrong play, but I want you to think about what you could have done differently here. So you've got your Neon going up mid and your Chamber going up elbow. Neon is your other duelist or initiator, and then you've got Fade and Viper going B main. Here, it would have been better if you guys split, if you actually ended up going B main with the rest of your team and letting Neon and Chamber play mid. You would have been able to smoke off and create room on site for your Viper and Fade. Although they did end up getting on site and it worked out, but that's another way you could have played it.